Okay. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the second week of Ludo Lingo. Today, we're actually starting off the week. It should be Monday when you're watching this. We're starting off the week with Spotlight on. And I know we said that we had this strict schedule of news and then Spotlight and then, but what we're trying to focus on now, we look back, watch the videos, and what we're trying to focus on now is do things that we want to talk about. So if there's no news that we want to talk about, then we won't do a new segment. We're just going to create new segments all the time and just talk about things we want to talk about. So this week we have 3 things, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that we want to talk about. And so today we're going to start off with a little spin on our Spotlight episode. We're going to put a spotlight on the whole franchise of Devil May Cry. So,
yes, we are. Because I just played all 3 of them last week. Haven't quite finished 3, but I'm like right at the end of it. So, good enough. I think that the franchise as a whole is pretty good, but I got into it because of DMC. That's the first one I played, is the reboot. So I never played the old ones. Just played the new one. I was like, yes, this is hilarious. This is awesome. Go back and start playing the old ones. It's
and there's no... Yeah.
It's not that... The first one didn't have that, like, ridiculous humor. And I was thinking...
Or the second one, really.
No. Oh my... Okay, no. The second one definitely didn't. The third one does. That's when I...
Yeah.
Once I started playing the third one, I was like, okay, this is where they were getting that from. Because I thought they just pulled it out of nowhere. So that was cool.
Right, yeah.
So I really liked 3. 1 and 2, I don't know.
Well, I knew I hadn't played DMC, but I knew that it had that like sarcastic, crazy humor. So when I started playing, I bought the collection, the HD collection. So when I started playing 1, that's what I was expecting, and it wasn't there, but it didn't make me not like it because I'm on number 4 right now, and I haven't played DMC yet. And of the 4, I think 1 was my favorite.
Why though? I don't get like. That's what I'm seeing.
It was
everywhere,
so cool.
Like, looking up the opinions of everybody, people say like 1. Everybody agrees that 2 is just not. I'll talk about that later. What happened with me? What I thought about that, but.
So with 1, for me with 1, it threw me off guard because I was expecting the weird whatever Dante, but it was like this really cool like gothic, not scary but like kind of like Dark Souls atmosphere. Like it was like this off-putting, uneasy atmosphere in this like gothic world, and there was all this like allusion to like Italian like Catholicism, like this weird like religious overtone. And I don't know, I just really like that, like the feel of the game. That is always enough to sell me on a game. It's just how it feels, and it felt so cool. And yeah, like the camera was terrible, but like when you play a game that old, you have to like brace yourself for.
I've definitely learned that
things.
Playing like the Ratchet and Clank collection, the Kingdom Hearts collection, this. Whew.
Like I went back and played Silent Hill on PS1, and so you can't even talk about bad controls until
20 minutes. No, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I noticed like immediately. Like I can't get past things like that. Like I did because I played it the entire thing, but the camera does not listen. It doesn't know what you want to do, and you can like any of them, all 3 of them.
But in 1, it was fixed camera, right?
Yeah.
Or is that all of them?
All of them. You can kind of move it in 3.
Okay. Yeah.
It only moves. You can move it a little bit sometimes, but usually it's fixed. Depends on how big the area you're in, basically.
But I don't really remember being frustrated in 3 with the camera. I thought it was
it's
fairly
alright,
good.
but it still does the same thing where you can be walking in a straight line, and then the camera will change, and you're still holding like forward, but you're walking backwards.
Yeah.
You have to, like, And that sucks when you're in a fight because you're running one way and then you try to attack this way and you're all of a sudden you're doing a combo in the opposite direction of the boss and then it kills you.
I was watching your stream while you were playing. It must have been one,
Yeah.
and I watch it a lot when I study, and so I was just studying, and all I hear is just, "What the heck?" Just being so mad at the camera.
Couldn't do it.
Especially, like, I remember in boss fights where it would almost switch to like, not quite an overhead view, but almost an overhead view, and then you would just go to just a different part of the map, and it would just like completely
Can't do it.
rotate. But okay, enough with the camera. What did you think about like gameplay story? I know in one, I think there was 2 cutscenes.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. At all.
Sandwiched at the beginning and the end.
The story again is something that didn't exist for some reason until I started playing 3. It's like when I look at 1 and 2, all I see is like I don't know how it was popular.
Because they were just like really good, solid action games, and the atmosphere was amazing.
Just playing through them once, I guess I didn't see that. Like the gameplay seemed kind of like well, obviously it's repetitive. It's an action game, but it wasn't like rewarding. It felt like I was doing the exact same combo over and over again. But that's because like I'm playing on normal or whatever. Like obviously.
But then there was all those puzzles, and I remember in 1 the puzzles were pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like finding out which way to go through, like it's really easy to make that frustrating and like misleading to the player, but I thought they did it really well. So when like you found the right door, you're like, yes. Like
that actually kind of reminds me of like Dark Souls and stuff, where you'd go to an area and then you'd randomly find a way back to another area you've been to. They do that a lot in 3, which I really like.
Yeah.
But okay, I have to say that I did not finish 2 and I just skipped to 3. But there's like very, very, very few games that I do that to. But I also have to say that when I started 2, like the first half an hour of 2, I was like, my mind was blown at how much I liked it compared to 1. Like, I was like, this game is so much better than 1. Why does everyone say it's bad? But then, after that first half an hour, I did that first half an hour again about 6 times. I was like, it felt like I was getting nowhere and just doing the exact same thing. Like it was the definition of like repetitive compared to the other 2.
Like, okay, if you look at them all in context of when they came out, 1 got really good reviews. Everyone liked it. It was like a good game back then. But even 2, like at the time it came out, not even now, it was not a good game. Like at the time it came out.
Yeah, it doesn't do.
It took everything. It did nothing. It did. What's the opposite of improve? It degraded.
Yeah, but
everything.
The reason I liked it so much is because I was like running up walls and like doing like a
backflips.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I can't, because like that's the thing I don't like about 1. I was so stale. Like I felt like I don't like when you there's no like special commands to make yourself propel forward faster or like. Okay, now I remember what I didn't like. You couldn't really block or dodge, and the dodge was horrible. Like, there was no
you couldn't.
frames.
Yeah,
that's what I don't like. I don't like when games do that. But 3, you're just dodging all over the place, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a tough argument because if you put like DMC into the argument, then you could say, oh well, 3 is where they like found what DMC was and they like got it right. But you can't really say that because Ninja Theory they decided that. Like they could have made the reboot like 1 where there was like no story and like this dark okay, well. So I don't know. And I really liked 3. And in a lot of ways it's not as funny or sarcastic, but I've only played maybe an hour and a half. But yeah, there's really long Japanese cutscenes. So yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'll like 4 better, but as of now, basically being done the first three out, but I didn't finish two. I definitely like the reboot the best, but again, that's probably because I played it first. Going back to the other ones, expecting
Well, and like I
updating
played the first,
mechanics,
yeah, yeah,
obviously.
and like Ninja Theory is one of my favorite developers, and I played the first maybe half an hour of DMC just to see like how it would be
Yeah.
after I played the first three, and like obviously it's just the best game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I definitely like the colors and stuff. It's like kind of like The Wolf Among Us, where it's just ridiculous purple and neon, and
yeah,
I love that. So that's all good. It's a good franchise, pretty good. I'm glad I played them.
yeah.
Maybe I'll play 4. I don't know. Got some other stuff to play. Well, yeah, it's pretty great.
So let's do like a wrap up. Would you recommend it to someone, or who would you recommend it to? Who would you say maybe? No.
I mean, they're pretty short. You can get through them fast.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to like action games, and I would say if you have a sarcastic sense of humor, a kind of well, obviously dark sense of humor too, then 3 and definitely the reboot are funny. The reboot more so. I don't know about 4, but the first two don't have that sense of humor. So if that's what you're looking for, I wouldn't play them because like they really don't
Yeah.
have that much. There's not like a. I guess there's a continuing story, but really not really.
Yeah. I was gonna say if you're someone that needs a story, like for a game to sell itself to you, then yeah, you just don't play.
You better come back on Wednesday and
Yes.
Friday. We got 2 more videos.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thanks.
watching.
Bye.
Goodbye.